Imagine this. It's a frosty night and you're dressed as Santa, handing out gifts and spreading kindness. Something. Everything feels perfect until a police car pulls up, and an hour later, you're tied to its bumper, running to keep from falling. Laughter, humiliation, dirt, and a shredded Santa suit. That's what they left of my Christmas. But what happened next didn't just make headlines. It turned their lives completely upside down. Let's break down how one night changed everything. All right, so let me set the scene for you. My name's James Walker. I'm 32, and yeah, I still dress up as Santa every year. Call me corny, but spreading some holiday cheer feels good. Besides, it's not every day you see a black Santa handing out gifts to kids who actually need them. This year, I decided to go all out. I hit up a local shelter with a trunk full of food, toys, and blankets. People were smiling, kids were laughing. It was everything Christmas is supposed to be. By the time I finished, it was late, probably around midnight. The streets were quiet, with just the occasional car rolling by, headlights cutting through the December fog. I was walking home, still in my Santa suit, jingling my stupid little bell for fun, when I noticed a police cruiser creeping up behind me. Now, let me tell you, nothing good ever happens when a cop car moves slower than a sloth on a lazy Sunday. I tried to brush it off, thinking maybe they were just passing by. Spoiler alert, they weren't. "Hey, Santa!" one of them hollered, his voice dripping with fake cheer. I turned around, and there they were. Two white cops sitting in the car like they owned the street. One was older, balding with a permanent scowl, and the other looked like he'd just graduated from the academy yesterday. "Evening, officers," I said, keeping my tone light. "Can I help you with something?" The younger one, let's call him Rookie, smirked and got out of the car. "Late night for a stroll, don't you think?" "What's in the bag, Santa?" Okay, so here's the thing. I've been through enough in my life to know when a situation is about to go south. Just leftover gifts from tonight. I was helping out at a shelter, I explained, holding up my hands like I was auditioning for the Most Cooperative Citizen of the Year award. "Gifts, huh?" The older cop, let's call him Grumpy, finally stepped out of the car, his boots crunching against the gravel. "Mind if we take a look?" "Sure, go ahead," I said, keeping my voice calm. They rummaged through the bag like it was full of stolen diamonds, pulling out a stuffed teddy bear, some gloves, and a tin of cookies. Rookie held up the tin and gave me this exaggerated, sarcastic look. "Cookies, huh? Where's the milk, Santa?" he quipped like he thought he was hilarious. I didn't laugh. Grumpy crossed his arms and stared at me like I was some puzzle he couldn't figure out. "You got any ID on you?" "In my pocket," I said, moving slowly to pull out my wallet. But as soon as I did, Rookie flinched like I was pulling out something dangerous. Whoa, slow down there, Santa," he barked, his hand resting on his belt. At this point, I was doing everything I could not to lose my cool. "It's just my ID, officer," I said, holding it out. Grumpy snatched it and stared at it like he was deciphering ancient hieroglyphics. "Walker, huh?" he muttered, handing it back. "All right, here's the deal. You're coming with us." "Wait, what? For what?" I asked, genuinely confused. "Suspicious activity," Grumpy said flatly, like that explained anything. "Walking around this late in a Santa suit? It's not adding up." "Are you serious right now?" I shot back, trying to keep my voice steady. "I just told you what I was doing. I was at the shelter." "Save it," Rookie cut me off, pulling out a pair of handcuffs. "Let's go, Santa." And just like that, the night took a sharp left turn into the Twilight Zone. As they cuffed me and started dragging me toward the car, I couldn't help but think about the absurdity of it all. A black man in a Santa suit arrested for, what, spreading holiday cheer? Yeah, Merry Christmas to me. So there I was, cuffed, in my festive red Santa suit, standing on a cold December street while these two officers acted like they just solved the crime of the century. Let me tell you, it was not exactly the picture of Christmas spirit. Rookie and Grumpy shoved me into the back of the cruiser like I was some high-profile criminal. The irony of it all wasn't lost on me. Here I was, trying to spread some holiday cheer, and now I'm sitting in a cop car, looking like the villain of a low-budget holiday movie. "You got anything sharp in your pockets, Santa?" Rookie asked, his tone dripping with mockery as he slammed the door shut. "Yeah, sure," I shot back. "A candy cane, deadly stuff." Okay, maybe sarcasm wasn't the best idea, but seriously, how could I resist? As the car started moving, I tried to process what was happening. The streets blurred past, and my thoughts were racing faster than the engine. I kept replaying the last 15 minutes in my head, trying to figure out how handing out cookies and toys turned into this. Meanwhile, Grumpy was in the driver's seat, casually talking to Rookie like this was just another Tuesday night. So what do you think? Think he's hiding something? Grumpy asked, glancing at me through the rearview mirror. Hiding what? I snapped, leaning forward as much as the cuffs would allow. The leftover cookies? You're wasting your time. Oh, don't worry, Santa, Rookie said, turning around with a smirk. We've got all the time in the world. They pulled into an empty parking lot, dim lights flickering above, the whole place giving off serious "this is where things get weird" vibes. Grumpy parked the car, and both of them stepped out, leaving me in the back like some kind of exhibit. Rookie walked around to my door and opened it. All right, out you go, he said, gesturing like I had a choice. Where are we? I asked, stepping out, the cuffs digging into my wrists. You'll see, Grumpy muttered, grabbing my arm and guiding me toward the back of the car. And that's when it happened. The moment that officially made this night one for the books. Rookie popped open the trunk and pulled out a rope. A rope? For a split second, I thought, this can't be real. They're not actually about to do what I think they're about to do. All right, Santa, Rookie said, his grin wide enough to make the Joker jealous. You like walking around, right? Let's see how far you can go. Wait, hold up, I stammered, my voice rising. You can't be serious. Oh, we're serious, Grumpy replied, his voice as flat as his sense of humor. They tied the rope around my waist, securing the other end to the back of the cruiser. Now, let me be clear. I've seen my share of ridiculousness in life, but this was next level. I stood there stunned while they hopped back into the car, laughing like they just invented the world's funniest prank. This is insane, I shouted, trying to keep my balance as the car started creeping forward. Keep up, Santa! Rookie hollered out the window, his voice echoing in the empty lot. At first, the car moved slowly, and I could jog to keep up. But then, like some twisted game, they started speeding up. My feet slipped on the gravel, my legs burning as I tried not to faceplant into the pavement. My Santa suit, once bright and festive, was now a tattered mess, covered in dirt and grime. The jingling bell on my belt? Yeah, not so cheerful anymore. The worst part wasn't even the humiliation, it was the laughter. Their laughter echoing out of the car like some sick soundtrack to my personal nightmare. I couldn't believe this was actually happening. Every step felt heavier, every stumble more painful. And then, just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, I spotted someone watching. A kid, maybe 15 or 16, standing on the curb with his phone pointed right at us. My first thought was, great, now this is going viral. But honestly, maybe that wasn't such a bad thing. The car slowed down and I managed to catch my breath, though every muscle in my body screamed at me to sit down and never move again. Had enough, Santa? Grumpy called out, his voice dripping with fake concern. This is a new low, even for you guys, I shot back, my voice hoarse. Rookie laughed. Oh, we're just getting started. Little did they know, the kid with the phone had already posted the video. By the time they finally untied me and threw me back into the cruiser, the wheels of karma were already in motion. Back in the cruiser, my mind was racing faster than the engine. Every bump in the road sent a jolt through my battered body, and I couldn't decide what hurt more, my legs, my wrists, or my pride. The two officers were still chuckling in the front seat like they'd just won some twisted comedy award. Rookie even glanced back at me with that smug grin, the kind that makes you want to yell, "Your time's coming, buddy!" As we pulled into the station parking lot, I noticed something unusual. A crowd was starting to gather near the entrance. People with their phones out, pointing and recording. It was like a red carpet event, except I was the unwilling star. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be? Was this about the kid with the phone? Grumpy parked the car and turned around. All right, Santa, time to explain yourself to the boss. The way he said it, you'd think I was about to meet the Grinch himself. They dragged me out of the car, still cuffed, my Santa suit now looking more like a Halloween costume after a zombie apocalypse. As we walked toward the building, the crowd parted like the Red Sea. People whispered, pointed, and some even shook their heads in disbelief. I caught snippets of conversations. Is that the guy from the video? No way, that's messed up. Wait till the captain sees this. Now, here's the kicker. What these geniuses didn't know was that the captain of this station, the big boss they were so eager to impress, was none other than my dad. Yep, George Walker, chief of police, and the kind of man who didn't tolerate nonsense, especially from his own officers. The moment we stepped inside, there he was, Captain Walker, 6'4" of pure authority, standing in the middle of the room with his arms crossed, and an expression that could freeze fire. The room went silent. You could have heard a pin drop. Officers Rogers and Miller, he said, his voice calm, but loaded with that "I'm about to lose it" tone. What exactly is the meaning of this? Grumpy, clearly clueless, stepped forward. Sir, we found this guy wandering around in a Santa suit. Suspicious activity, so we brought him in. Dad's eyes narrowed as he looked at me. This guy? You mean my son? The color drained from Grumpy's face faster than snow melting in July. Rookie looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. For a moment, I just stood there, letting it sink in. Their expressions were priceless, like two kids caught sneaking cookies before dinner. Sir, we didn't know, Rookie started, but Dad raised a hand to cut him off. Didn't know? You didn't think to ask? His voice grew louder, the kind of loud that makes you want to straighten up, even if you're not the one in trouble. And tying a civilian to the back of your vehicle? What part of police training covers that? The entire station was watching now, and let me tell you, the satisfaction of seeing these two squirm was almost worth the whole ordeal. Almost. Dad turned to me, his face softening just a bit. James, are you okay? Been better, I said, shrugging as much as the cuffs would let me. But I think your guys here might need a refresher course in human decency. He nodded and motioned for an officer nearby. Get those cuffs off him now. As soon as the cuffs were off, I rubbed my wrists and took a deep breath. Meanwhile, Dad turned back to Grumpy and Rookie, his expression hard again. I want your badges on my desk by the end of the day, and you better hope Internal Affairs doesn't come down harder than I will. But sir, Grumpy started, but Dad wasn't having it. Enough! You've embarrassed this department, this community, and yourselves. Get out of my sight! The two officers shuffled away like scolded puppies, their smugness replaced with sheer panic. The room stayed silent until the door closed behind them, and then, as if on cue, the crowd outside erupted into cheers. People started clapping, some even chanting, Santa, Santa. It was surreal. Dad walked me outside, his hand on my shoulder. You okay to head home, son? He asked. Yeah, I said, smiling for the first time that night. But maybe next year, I'll skip the Santa suit. We both laughed, and as I walked toward the crowd, I realized something. This wasn't just about me. That video, those people outside, they were proof that sometimes the truth can't be ignored. Sometimes, justice comes wrapped in a red suit with a big black belt. And honestly, that's the kind of Christmas miracle I can get behind. What would you have done in his place? Do you think you would have handled it differently? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you or someone you know ever experienced something similar? Let's keep this conversation going. Don't forget to like and share this story if it resonated with you. This story was created to shine a light on important issues and inspire positive change in our world. Your opinion matters, and together we can make a difference.